So Jordan Peterson's another one that I was told by so many people, this guy's an evil, horrible person.
Yeah.
He does tweet a lot of stuff. His tweeting thing is a bit
I mean, Jordan, when he tweets, I'm like, Jordan, and I love Jordan. I'm just, Lord Jordan, put down the phone, mate.
Yeah, it's a bit extreme. It's a bit Dr. Evil, some of it.
Yeah, and then and he writes in these weird haiku almost. And
Oh, yeah, the haikus.
Yeah, and you're going, mate, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because Jordan has helped me turn my life around. He has. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he has. Absolutely. You know, what are the things, take responsibility, clean your room, all the basic stuff that as a man you really need to hear. Life is unfair. It's not, it's gritty, it's tough, it's terrible, but that's life. Get on with it. Get on with it. And it's not fair. And yeah, what are you going to do? It's not fair, actually, that we're sitting here in Westminster and we grew up in a liberal Western democracy and someone is being brought up in a rubbish dump in for instance, in Cambodia, and they're never going to have a billionth of the chances that we have or the opportunities. That isn't fair. That's not right.
Yeah. I'm interested that he turned your life on. Was it the 12 steps then?
It's mainly listening to his pods and interviewing him.
He's just the most phenomenal speaker.
Yeah.
He really is. Well, just make your bed. Make your damn bloody bed.
Yeah, and the thing I like about it as well is that everyone's got a Jordan impression.
Yeah.
And it ranges from being accurate to Kermit the Frog.
How was mine? I was Kermit, because I think it is. I do the same for Kermit.
Yeah.
I'm Bill Gates. Here at Microsoft.
Yeah. Do you know, I remember
How's yours?
Yeah, this is mine. So I remember talking to him before the pod and we were just chatting because we've interviewed him twice. And he goes to me, people used to say I sounded like Kermit the Frog. And then I went and listened to him, and I do. And I remember laughing, and I was like, actually, you're a good bloke. You can take the piss out of yourself. I like that.
I like that. And I like also that some of these intellects, whether it's a Dawkins or a Peterson or someone like that, they're so removed from some parts of society that he had to go and research Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. Yeah, Andrew Doyle's like that. I remember Andrew Doyle didn't know who Rihanna was, and I'm like, fuck off, Andrew. You don't, Andrew.
Do you think he's doing that for effect?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, Andrew, you're a gay man. You cannot tell me you don't know who Rihanna is. He's like, no, I don't. I just read literature. I'm like, piss off, mate. Yeah, of course he does.
He's on this tomorrow. He's coming tomorrow for this. So I'm
is he?
Shall I ask him?
Make sure to ask him. He's danced to Umbrella at GAY. Come on, mate.
Andrew was a teacher at my school.
Was he? Did he teach you?
Yeah, no, he joined the year after I left.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Yeah, I love Andrew. He's great.
Just missed out on him.
Yeah.
He is very good.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say about Jordan Peterson was I've got a friend who is very part of academia, so has a lot of left-wing views and things like that. And I did mention Jordan Peterson, and she said, isn't he awful? And I said, watch a couple of these videos. Actually have a little watch. And I showed the one when he's talking to Piers Morgan. He starts crying, talking about men. And she said, you know what? I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah.
This is a guy who you might disagree with, and I think that's fine, but he really cares, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, Jordan cares. Jordan absolutely cares, and he cares about men. And just to talk about your friend, this is a very real problem where, again, people have opinions on things they don't know anything about. And instead of just and partly it's a fault of society where you are forced to have an opinion on literally everything. So people go, "What's your opinion on Jordan Peterson?" And instead of going, "Well, I don't know." So if I don't know if you're into football, but if I said to you, you are?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but if I said to you, Harry Kane, if you didn't know about football and I went to you, is Harry Kane the best England striker? You'd be like, oh mate, I don't like football.
Yeah. But I know that not only is he, but I think he actually probably has been by a long distance.
Yeah. So, really?
Yeah, considerable distance. Well, he's the top scorer. He got the top scorer at like 28, and he assists all the time as well. What a player.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But you don't have to agree, do you? That's the beauty. Plurality of opinion.
That is true. I was just
Who was better than him? What, Rooney? Rooney was rubbish by the time he was 27.
Yeah, he was. But
he was good when he was 15. But
yeah. He was so good though. Yeah, but but he was incredible. Probably the best 16-year-old, 17-year-old footballer I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But no, but that's the point, in that you're forced to have an opinion, and because she works in this progressive left-wing liberal industry, which is academia, she then has to basically say that she doesn't like him, when the reality is she knows nothing about him. It's like when people go to me, oh, Joe Rogan's this. I'm like, have you met him? Have you had a conversation with him? So they're like, no. And I'm like, well, he's not.
Yeah.
I've met him and I really like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
seems likable to me. He said loads of things that I found offensive.
Yeah.
I find him offensive. Or all my friends say things I find offensive, and I sort of get on with the day.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been so helpful and supportive to us.
Has he?
Incredible. He doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do it. Why does he need to help me? What is he getting from it? Pretty much nothing. But he does it anyway. So, and so the people have these opinions about people or subjects, and it's because they feel that they have to have this opinion, and without actually reading about it or engaging in any of the content surrounding it.
These people do exist, though, who maybe are, I don't know, do incite dangerous ideas in young people. Perhaps
yes,
we mentioned Andrew Tate.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was on Tim Pool on his podcast, flew out there to do that, and that was great. I was really excited, and I'm talking, smiling, having a great time. And this isn't entirely his fault, but afterwards I went and had a look on the YouTube, and there's a live thing, and I've never seen so many people saying horrible Jewish thing, like anti-Semitic thing. I've never seen every single comment, and he gets 50,000 live people watching, so it was just bam, 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 and I felt like such an idiot because I'd been sat there smiling along while they're doing it. So that does exist as well, and I think you've got to say that. Yeah,
you do have to say that, and you get anti-Semitic stuff. I'm not Jewish, but I look Jewish. Right?
Yes.
And I get called a secret Jew.
Hang on, you did a great stand-up about that, actually. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
That had me laughing.
Yeah, and that's, and look, we do need to acknowledge that. I'm going to be absolutely honest. I don't feel banning it and pushing it underground so it can exist in platforms like 4chan, which essentially is a cesspool for these types of opinions. It's much better that actually they're confronted, they're challenged, because you need to believe in redemption. You need to believe that these people can change their mind. People do think abhorrent things. People do think things that are awful. But if you're just going to push people and drive it underground, you're not going to solve the problem. You're just going to make it worse, where they're going to sit in their own little forums and they're going to have their own little discussions, and they're just going to end up radicalizing themselves.
Yeah, that's what I think exactly the same thing. And to go to an extreme point, the PDF files we talked about before, I'm writing a book about that for that reason, because otherwise they just go and tell each other that they're going to do it. So I think you do need to, any topic needs to be spoken about. You look Jewish in the way that Louis Theroux looks Jewish, I suppose, and he's not either. Yeah. But that got him into trouble almost in that neo-Nazi episode. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, you got to watch that. Yeah. They're all going like, you look like a Jew. Yeah. And he's going like, well, and they're going, well, are you Jewish? Are you a Jew in my house? And he's going, well, I don't think I should say, which really pisses them off. Yeah, but he's not either.
No, and it's actually, that's a very intelligent response, because what he's actually saying is it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And the reality is, it doesn't matter.
He did brilliantly. That. It's such a great scene. And it actually changed me as a journalist, because I for a while was making those kinds of documentaries, and it changed me. If someone had said to me and I was scared and they said, are you secretly a Muslim? Something like that, I would probably, well, I'm not, but it shouldn't matter. Yeah. And I saw that and I thought, oh, maybe I could be brave enough, maybe, to just go, I'm not going to say. But
I mean, that's a very brave thing to do, because the easier thing to do would be to tell the truth and say, no, I'm not, but it doesn't matter, or whatever else. Yeah. But just to say, he actually put himself in harm's way there. That's a really, really principled and strong thing to do.
He got a lot of respect for that. Everyone loves him, right?
Yeah.
He's cool.
I mean, apart from the neo-Nazis.
Oh, yeah. But even they do a bit. That's his charm, isn't it? Yeah, they're a bit, oh, Louis. Those particular ones didn't. They kicked him out of the house.
Yeah. So. I mean, his superpower, and I think this is everyone's superpower actually, is he doesn't pretend. I mean, he plays the sort of bumbling English guy to a certain degree, but that is pretty much who Louis Theroux is. When you see him interviewed, that is Louis Theroux, really. So, and that is Rogan's superpower as well. It's that ability to be yourself, and that's what people want. People want authenticity. People don't want what they used to have, which is fake personas. TV doesn't work because it's a fake persona on a fake stage talking about fake things in a fake way. It's done. It's over. Nobody wants that. Look, my parents' generation, your parents' generation, they've been raised on it. They will continue to consume that stuff until they die out, and then it dies out. But for the rest of us, why would you? Why would you? It's completely synthetic, and it just feels false.
And Hollywood in particular, I've heard you talking about that. I mean, there's the Barbie film, and what's your issue with Hollywood at the moment?
I guess my issue is with Hollywood is, and this is from someone who loves cinema. I love cinema. I love theatre. I love novels and books and art and whatever else. I just want to be told a story. That is what we crave. That goes back to sitting around the campfire when we were existing in tribes and having someone tell you a story. It's why the Greek myths are so powerful, and we will continue to read them until our civilization dies out, even though we know that they're not true, even though we know that it's fiction, because it's a really powerful story which taps into something. But we don't get that anymore. Instead, I'm getting told what to think. Instead, I'm getting a lecture. Instead, I'm getting told how to think about the world and what my politics should be. I'm not interested in that. I don't care.
What examples of that sort of thing?
I mean, Barbie was an example of it, where again it was, all the you just looked at Kens, and all the Kens are really, they're how can I put this with the Kens? They're all incompetent, stupid, inept, and all the women are just, really far better than the men, far superior, far more competent, far more intelligent. And actually, the Barbie society, the women without the men, works much better. And I did a comedic monologue about this, where I actually said, like, I don't know about you, but have you ever worked in an office where it's all women? It's carnage. It's absolute carnage. And even the women will say, yeah, we prefer working with the men. Because if it's just women, it turns into an absolute bitch fest.
That wasn't in Barbie then.
No, it wasn't in Barbie. It wasn't in Barbie, where they'd see one of them like, man, she's looking a bit fat today.
I suppose they'd say, oh, well, this is just a bit of a satire, a bit of fun or whatever. But I guess they could have poked fun at that aspect as well, couldn't they?
Because it's dishonest.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with, looking at men and saying inept, whatever else. It's when it's disingenuous, and when you know that you're being fed a message. And it constantly happens, where the moment you politicize anything is the moment the joy just seeps out of it. For instance, I was in Amsterdam recently, and I saw this street performer. And before he started his act, he just went, things are really bad in Holland because of this right-wing Dutch government. And I just thought, mate, even street performers, shut up, light the sword, shove them up your arse, and I'll give you a $5.
Yeah.
So why do I need to listen to what your thoughts are on politics? The moment when you bring the politics into sport, I'm just going, I don't care. Yeah. I don't care.
Last time I remember going to Tottenham. I hadn't been in a while. That's why I had that Harry Kane opinion, by the way, my own bias. But it wasn't last time I went, but it was about a year ago, and it happened to be Armistice Day or whatever, November, whatever. So there were about 5 or different things before the match started. Yeah. Both left and right things. Fair enough. At least they got sort of bit of both. Yeah. The right would be the poppies you have to wear for the army stuff, I suppose, and the left was LGBT. Then they come on the pitch to do an LGBT. I'm here to watch football. Most people here are not anti this or that. They just don't care. Yeah. And they want to watch football. I'm amazed what they're shoving down our throat. I mean, and the poppy stuff as well. You've got Northern Irish players and Irish players who are going, why have I got to wear this? And then if they don't wear it, they become screamed at. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the famous example is a footballer, I think it was James McLean, wasn't it? And he chose not to wear the poppy, which is his right to do it. And then all of a sudden, he becomes a political pawn. Yeah. And before, I was very supportive of the poppy and in sports and celebrating this. But now I've come to the position where I'm like, I don't want to see any of it.
It's forced.
Yeah, it's forced. I don't want to see any of it. I don't want to see the poppy. I don't want to see BLM. I want nothing of it. I want sport to be completely apolitical. I don't want them to take the knee. I don't want them to wear the poppy. I don't want them to talk about trans lives. I don't want any of it. Yeah. None of it. I want it completely free.
Because it's empty, isn't it? Because the England team did that, and then when they were told that they would get a yellow card for putting a rainbow thing at the World Cup, they backed down straight away.
Of course, and that's what Martin Luther King did.
What?
Yeah.
I won't have a yellow card.
Yeah. He goes, what, a yellow card, mate? Sorry. Can't do it. Sorry, lads. I was all for emancipation of my race, but actually, yellow card, no. Backing down.